What's going on, guys? Nick Pilata here with Unstoppable Recording Machine. Welcome to our YouTube channel, the #1 stop for all things rock and metal. Today I want to talk to you guys about something that really brings a production to the next level. It's often neglected and not really talked about because not a lot of producers really know how to create them, and that's vocal harmonies.
So here I am, I'm right back at it again, just like I've always said. If you're too cool for school, I ain't here to make no friends, and I'll say, hey, I'm right back at it again, just like I've always said. If you're too cool for school, I ain't here to make no friends.
You can hear from that example how harmonies can make the song, or even a part of the song, more impactful, more powerful, and at the end of the day, make it more emotionally captivating for the listener. If you're a great musician or you are working with a really good vocalist, then I would absolutely suggest that you take advantage of the use of vocal harmony in your next session. But for those of us who don't have access to that or just want to lay down a quick demo while you're writing, this video is going to show you how to create some vocal harmonies using one of my favorite plugins that I don't really hear a lot of people talking about. But before I get into that, let's have a quick refresher on the basics of vocal harmony. In simple terms, it is the combination of notes that when played at the same time will create a chord, which if done correctly in the same key can sound like this.
You must remember this, a kiss is still a kiss, a sigh is just a sigh, just a sigh, just a sigh.
It sounds cool, right? And I'm sure you've heard it in almost every single song that you like, and it's pretty typical to do what's called a major third over the main melody line. It creates a really pleasing sound to the human ear, like this.
So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder, pull the sheets right.
So if you're not well versed in music theory, let's pull up a piano and let's break it down a little bit, as simply as we can. Essentially, a major third is simply 4 semitones above the note. So if we look at a piano, let's choose middle C here as our root note. And if we walk up 4 notes above that, we land at E. Now if we play them together, it sounds harmonious or really pleasing. Now if we want to add a third note and complete the chord, because a chord has to be at least 3 pitches, we'll add a perfect 5th above the root note, which is 7 semitones from the root. We land at G. Now all together, alright, we've created a C major chord. This is really the basis of music theory, and it can get way more complex than that. Hopefully by now you understand a little bit more about the basics of music theory and how vocal harmonies can really take a song to the next level, but maybe you're not sure where to start. What if your vocalist's range isn't wide enough to hit the desired harmony that you want in your song? Everyone knows that harmonies are important, but the real problem is that most struggle with writing them. This, my friends, is where Izotope's Nectar really comes in handy. This plugin is sort of an all-in-one for vocal processing, where you can choose from multiple modules like plate reverb, pitch, delay, de-esser, saturation, compressors, gate, EQ, limiters, and finally, the one that we're going to be looking at in this video, harmony. This plugin, besides being great for writing harmonies, has been such a great multi-tool for myself and many other engineers that I know. But before I show the awesomeness of this plugin, I do just want to mention that if you are a phenomenal vocalist, you have no problem hearing harmonies, you can sing harmonies all day long, you have the vocal range of a god, then congratulations. You don't need the plugin. But for everyone else in the world who might have a little harder of a time nailing these vocal harmonies, check this out. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what I have pulled up here is a mix that I had done using these stems from Andrew Wade's Nail the Mix session with A Day to Remember. If you haven't checked that out, or if you aren't a part of Nail the Mix, you absolutely should go check it out. Download these stems, give this a go, because it is so much fun being able to mix tracks like this. Anyways, I have this up here, I have a rough mix. Now let's just take a listen to the chorus here. Just as it is, with the harmonies in it, with Jeremy singing. Let's just take a listen. That chorus is awesome. In typical A Day to Remember fashion, it is a super catchy song, easy to remember, easy to nod your head to. It's really enjoyable. And they've got a harmony in there as well that really, makes the track really pop out. Now let's actually mute these backup vocals here, the harmonies, and let's just take a listen to that chorus again without any harmonies at all.
So here I am, I'm right back at it again. Just like I've always said, if you're too cool for school, I ain't here to make no friends. And I'll say, hey, I'm right back at it again. Just like I've always said, if you're too cool for school, I ain't here to make no friends.
The track is still catchy. It's a good melody, and the song is good. The chord progression is nice, but I am missing the density in the track. I'm missing what I would call the excitement, which I feel is coming from the vocal harmonies. So let's look at this session as if we never even had background vocals in it. And what we're going to do is just simply take these and let's just hide them for now. And let's create some harmonies using Nectar 2. So the first step that I'm going to do is just take one of these doubles here that's in the chorus, and let's just go ahead and duplicate the track. With the active playlist, with all of it, we'll hit OK. Let's center it up. And what I'm going to do is just load on, after all of my inserts here, Izotope's Nectar 2. Again, I'm using Nectar 2. Nectar 3 is the most recent plugin that's come out. I would absolutely check out Nectar 3 if you can, but for now we're just going to take a look at Nectar 2. Not much has changed. So here is what pops up when you first see the plugin. And like I mentioned before, you have this whole overview section here where there's a bunch of different modules, and it's really awesome because you can put these in and out of the chain in different order. It's really great. But like I said, what we're going to be focusing on is this harmony tab. So we're going to click on these boxes here to turn off the EQ and compressors and turn on the harmony engine. Now, through math and through however the plugin is coded, it's basically taking one of those performances that was in the double, and like I said, through using math, it's going to kind of turn that into new pitches and make it sound enough to where it's not going to phase out with that original performance. So let's take a look at this plugin. It's a pretty simple plugin to understand, but one of the big things that you're going to have to understand when it comes to music theory with this plugin is understanding key signatures. Now, I've learned a little trick to help you find what key your song is in. It works probably 95% of the time. What we're going to do is just take a listen to the chorus here, and we're going to listen to what the melody starts on, or what that root note is of the melody to bring that chorus in. Let's take a listen to the chorus and just listen to that vocal.
So here I am.
So Jeremy is singing, so here, so, that so is a D sharp. I don't have perfect pitch, just so everyone knows. I memorized that for this video. But a really easy way to find that out is to simply just, bring up a piano app, play the notes until you match that note. You find out that it's D sharp. You keep moving on. It's great. So what we need to do now is first set up the first side of this plugin, which is this area over here, this scale area. We're going to say that this is D sharp major. So instead of chromatic, we'll click on major, and let's choose D sharp. For calibration, 44 Hertz equals A. That is the musical standard. That's fine. We'll leave it as that is. No big deal. The next step, now that we have our key set up, is we have to set up what actual harmonies we want in the track. And for that, we're going to go over to this voices side. And you can see that you can have up to 4 voices. And what voices are is as simply as that. It's voices. It's up to 4 things that could be spread across a stereo spectrum. So you could technically have 4 different voices going, singing different harmonies at the same time, all inside of one plugin, which is really handy. But what we're going to do is set up a simple major third on this chorus. I'm also only going to use 2 voices. We'll keep it pretty simple here. So what we're going to do is select a major third going up, and we have the option here of going down, unison, or up. Another useful feature of this plugin is being able to do a false double just by clicking this unison button, and now all of a sudden you can have up to 4 people singing the same note, the same melody as whatever you have going on in the plugin, which is a really nice doubler effect. But what we're going to do for this is do harmonies. We'll choose up on both of these, and we will choose a third. That is a third interval, which means we're doing a major third up. The next side that we have to look at is this pan and gain section. So essentially you see a 1 here, you see a 2 here. That lines up with the voices 1 and 2 here. If we turn these on, 3 and 4, you'd see 2 more things pop up here. We'll turn those off for now. But you'll see this graph is gain on this side and then the pan on this side. So if we take this 1 and move it all the way up to this top left, we are putting this at as loud as it can on the gain side and as far over left as we can. We'll do the same exact thing for the 2 so that now we have 2 voices singing a major third above the main melody on far left and far right. Hopefully you guys are following along. I know it's a little confusing the first time you go through this kind of thing. Harmonies can be a little complex, so just relax, watch it a few times if you haven't gotten it, no big deal. The next step that we have to do is hit this solo voices button. And what that means is that you see this little orange dot here. I hope that's orange. I'm colorblind, sorry. What that is essentially is it's going to be whatever is going on in the track. So if we didn't hit that solo button, you would still hear the main melody centered in this track. We don't want to hear that, so we just want to hit solo voices, and now all we hear is the harmonies. So what I'm going to do, we'll close out this plugin. I'm going to pull this vocal all the way down, and let's just take a listen to this chorus, and I'll slowly bring up this harmony. Right off the bat, we have an incredibly accurate sounding harmony going on in this chorus. So we've got that, but let's expand a little bit further and let's actually add a second harmony going on in this chorus. So what I'm going to do is just clean up a little bit of the chorus here. I know I don't want that going on. I want that to be the main vocal when it starts. I don't want this hey to be sung on this part. So that part's clean and good to go. Let's duplicate this track now. We're going to duplicate the harmony that we've already created. And now it's been duplicated. So now what we want to do is let's do a 5th harmony. Essentially what we talked about before, where we had the C, E, and G to make a perfect C major chord. Let's do the same exact thing, but instead of going up for the 5th, we'll go down 3 steps, which is the same exact thing. If you think about it, if you go down 3 steps, but you go up 5 steps from the root, that's going to be an octave apart from each other. So all we have to do here is go to Nectar on this track, and we'll just switch that to down. And I know I want this to happen. Let's see. Let's take a listen to the melody here.
If you're too cool for school, I ain't here to...
Let's do I ain't here to make no friends. So we'll just do from here. We'll keep that hey in there for this track, and then we'll delete this. And then we'll do the same thing at the end here.
Cool for school, I ain't here.
Same part there, the I ain't here, we'll delete everything else but that. And now, let's take a listen to that now that we have a second harmony going on in this chorus, making it even more full, even more epic, even more emotionally captivating. Let's take a listen. And just like that, through a simple understanding of music theory, understanding some keys, and understanding a little bit about intervals, we now can make an awesome chorus and awesome harmonies off of just using what's already recorded in the main melody. So let's go ahead and go to another part of the track here. Let's listen to the verse, and let's see what's going on here. Let's pull back up the harmonies, and let's see what they're doing in some spots in this first verse.
Nobody talked to me, except to tell me all the things I couldn't do. Don't wanna hear about it.
Let's recreate those harmonies and then compare them to the original harmonies themselves. So what I'm going to do is let's take a listen to what he's doing again.
Except to tell me all the things I couldn't do. Don't wanna hear about it.
The first thing you want to hear for if you don't know what that harmony is okay, he's singing lower than the melody. So the first thing that I'm going to try is the lower 3 that I mentioned earlier, which would be basically a 5th harmony. So let's go ahead and take the double performance and let's drag this down to the fifth harmony that we made before, and let's just go ahead and see if this worked. We'll mute the backup vocals. We'll only have the Nectar vocal playing and the harmony or the main melody here. Let's take a listen.
Something tell me all the things I couldn't do. Don't wanna hear about it. Got with my contacts.
Cool, so that sounds pretty good. Obviously, what we heard there at the end is that that was not the same as Jeremy's background vocal here. Let's take a listen to what he was doing again.
Don't wanna hear about it.
Don't wanna hear about it. So what we can do there is easily just change those pitches. We'll add polyphonic onto this track here. And let's go ahead and tab to here. We'll cut this out. And let's turn this down a semitone using Elastic Audio. Now let's take a listen to the harmony that we created.
Don't wanna hear about it. Got with my contacts.
Close, we'll move that down a little more.
Don't wanna hear about it. Got with my contacts.
Cool, and that is the same pitches as what he was singing in the actual performance. So let's go ahead now and compare the original to the Nectar version. So we'll play first the original harmonies.
Talk to me. Something tell me all the things I couldn't do. Don't wanna hear about it. Got with my contacts.
And now let's listen to the Nectar harmonies. We'll mute the backup vocals that were original, and here's the Nectar version.
Nobody talk to me. Something tell me all the things I couldn't do. Don't wanna hear about it. Got with my contacts.
For that being 100% fake, I think that is 100% usable when it comes to a mixing scenario. Now, obviously, I know, and I 100% am going to back this. If you can sing it, do it, because that's going to sound way more authentic. But if you can't perform it, this is such a viable option. It's so easy to do, and it sounds really good inside the mix. And background vocals aren't meant to be a forefront piece. They're meant to be tucked back a little bit, and they're meant to make things sound fuller and more exciting. They're not meant to be as loud as the main vocal. Now, are there downsides to this plugin? Yes, there are some downsides. It's not perfect. It's math, like I said. It's not a human voice. It's all algorithms. So a couple of things to mention on it. It doesn't sound too great soloed. So if we listen to this vocal here,
Something tell me all the things I couldn't do.
that doesn't sound too great by itself. But if you put it in the mix,
Something tell me all the things I couldn't do.
it sounds a lot more natural when it's inside a dense mix and it's tucked back, to where a background vocal should be. Another thing with this plugin, a lot of vocal tuning plugins have this issue, a lot of just vocal processing where it's manipulation of the pitch or the voice itself. It doesn't do too great with raspy vocals. That's a pretty common thing across most, algorithms that, actually mangle audio from a vocal. It is what it is. The only other downside to creating harmonies with this plugin is that you do have to have a little bit of theory knowledge to use it. You have to understand key signatures. You have to understand your intervals. You have to understand what's going to sound good. You have to understand whether or not your song's in major or if it's in minor. Typically, a major song sounds happy and a minor song sounds sad. Those are the things that you can really, those context clues and those things can really, guide you to figuring out, what your song is and how you approach creating harmonies using this plugin. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think Nectar stood up to the original tracks? Do you see yourself using this in any way, whether it's, for a final mix or even if it's for a writing or a demo session? I also want to know, where are you with music theory? Is music theory a challenge for you? Is this something that you really want to improve on? Me personally, I think that music theory is something that every producer should have a pretty decent grasp on because it only makes sessions run smoother and it gives you a better understanding of how to actually create, produce, and finalize your songs. So anyways, guys, leave a comment down below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. We'll see you next time.